Hey guys, sorry for such a long wait when it comes to these videos. I know I wasn't anticipating um a lot of the feedback I was getting. It's really really cool, and I really really appreciate all of the kind gestures that people are sending my way, and people really starting discussions and really taking a lot of these videos seriously. It's the entire reason why I started to make this series in the first place, and I was so afraid that people weren't really going to vibe or mesh with it very well. So it really, really makes me happy to see that you guys really understand what I'm going for and engaging as such. So I'm trying to put a little bit more effort into these videos to try to make sure that you guys, are able to really get something entertaining as well as educational, and also attempting to have like almost a platform to be able to discuss these things that you never really get to discuss in our community too often, which I find to be a real shame. So I also wanted to start this off by saying that episode 2 was scripted. I don't know if some of you guys read the description, but I was actually attempting to use a script for that one. And I realized that while it did kind of flow a little bit better than episode 1, I kind of felt like I was a lot more restricted in the things I wanted to talk about, because sometimes while I'm talking, ideas kind of just pop up into my head that are a lot better than what I'm writing down. you know, like I start to real, and then I want to like add more to the script, and then I want to stop. So, and I also realized that the length of the video was much shorter because of this. Which was also a big no-no for the algorithm. The algorithm really didn't like that video was much shorter than the first episode. So I think unscripted is probably the way to go. I think it feels a lot more natural and a lot more diegetic, and I think I get myself across a lot better when I don't have a script. So if I sound like I'm rambling or going on a tangent or going fucking insane, and not really sticking on topic, it's more than likely because I do not have a script. So I will do my best to try to edit those pieces out. But if something sounds like I'm kind of, not really making a whole lot of sense, it's because get distracted really easily sometimes, especially talking about these kinds of topics. So I will do my absolute best to stay on topic. Today's episode actually comes from a comment that I got on last episode. This person did a really, really interesting job wording exactly what they wanted to see. I actually had a concept very similar to what they were bringing up in this comment, and I wanted to I can actually bring it up now. But starting from zero, I think is a very interesting topic that not a whole lot of people, even pro players that are trying to like really assist you in sticking with fighting games and attempting to really nail the topic of like what do I do when it comes to, like I've hit the lab. I get the game mechanics. I understand the fundamentals to a degree. Now I want to be able to play, and I'm kind of getting my ass whooped. And I don't know if it's worth all of the effort. I'm putting in so much effort, and I'm not really getting a whole lot back. And it all starts with this idea that where do I measure my success? Where do I measure the idea of like what's there for me to even want to continue? Well, this is going to sound like dark, and I don't mean it to be this way, but like what's even the point of going on if I'm not getting anything back? you know I think a lot of these questions get a lot of really obvious answers, and I think that tends to be the main culprit of why people get so frustrated with pro fighting game players or fighting game content creators giving these same answers, is because it's the same thing they've been hearing all the time, and it doesn't really vibe with them. And I think people need to start to give these content creators a little bit more leniency, a little bit more of a break when it comes to this topic, because I think it's really, really hard to talk about. I would say damn near impossible, because it's such a case by case basis that it's really difficult to look at your situation and not go, it's really all about just toughing it out. Make sure you're watching YouTube videos. Don't, the wins will come naturally over time. Those things are not immediately giving me that catharsis that I need in order to be able to feel confident enough to keep going with this little hobby that I picked up. You know? I don't want to be like the guy that's getting his ass whooped even though I'm in training mode 3 to 5 hours a day or some shit like that. That was a very, very inaccurate number. I know a lot of people are not spending 3 to 5 hours in training mode a day. Though some of you were lab monsters, which I respect. But my point still stands, right? You put in all this effort and you don't get a whole lot back, especially when you go online expecting better results. So what is there to continue to go? What do I measure my success with? Is it wins? Is it that combo that I labbed all damn day? Is it that setup that I labbed all damn day? You know, it's very difficult to talk about. From my own experience as a player, I was able to start these games from a young age. And during that young age, I was able to perceive wins and losses like I was playing arcade mode. And it wasn't really a whole lot, different, right? Fighting my cousin, my older cousin, was like this perception of, I'm younger and he's older. I'll never be able to surpass him until I get older. So I was always grinding. I was always playing in this environment where I always felt like I was doomed to lose. So I learned to have fun with losing, right? Unfortunately, it's a case-by-case basis, right? I grew up in the younger generation of like the console kids, when arcades stopped, started to become less and less of a common occurrence. And, you could only find them in, like, rundown buildings and shit like that are barely staying afloat, So this idea that I grew up in a different time where I could perceive losing as a different, type of, losing. Well, I think I'm actually, I'm realizing that I'm focusing on losing a little too much. Because then you also have to perceive wins, You also have to, like, the perception of winning. What was it? There's a quote where losing feels way worse than winning feels good. The idea that, losing hurts far more than winning feels good to you. So you being able to focus on those losses harder makes a lot of sense, right? And it's the reason why I focus so much on, you reacting to losing in the first place. Is because it's very important to try to come to terms with losing early on, right? Coming terms, like, you're not stupid. I know you're not dumb, right? For the most part, I know you are not stupid. You know that hard work and effort eventually pays off with W's, right? What you want to hear is something to motivate you to continue to want to put up with all of the bullshit while you are losing. And unfortunately, it's your own vision of the game. It's your own need. It's your own want. It's your own goal. This is your path. And no one is here to be able to tell you what path you're going to take. It's very, very frustrating. But you also have to think, what do I want from this fighting game? Do I want to be the best? What's my end goal? Do I want to be the best at this specific character? Do I just want to hit sick combos? A good friend of mine consistently plays fighting games. He's a big fighting game fan. He hardly ever fights anyone. He just loves doing combos and creating things in training mode. He loves being a combo artist. And I used to chastise him for it. I used to think that it was really weird because in a medium where the entire point of the game is to fight a stranger and your least favorite part is to do that, I found that very, very frustrating and very, very strange. It was a very foreign idea to me. But now, the more and more I realize that that's just his path. That's just what brings him joy from this medium. And I think that it's really important that the fact that he's even playing fighting games in the first place is really cool. And I think that I shouldn't really give so much shit to him just because he doesn't want to fight other people, right? That's his path. That's what keeps him going playing fighting games. You need to find yours. I think that's the most definitive answer I can give you throughout all of this. I'm not saying that what I said earlier doesn't matter. It's just something that you need to consider while going in. Your reactions will differ, some positive, some negative, but you also need to realize that those reactions are going to happen. They are bound to happen. They are supposed to happen. What you do with those reactions is what's going to be the part that keeps you around or makes you leave. Some people aren't really cut out for this stuff, and I completely understand. But fighting games are for everyone. Just because you're not cut out for it doesn't mean that you didn't at least give it an honest try. That's why they're for everyone. Are they for everyone forever? No. Some people don't like them. Some people give up, and that's okay. They just couldn't find the path that really motivated them to do something about it. Whether your path is small, or your path is simple, or your path is bigger than anything that anyone else could possibly imagine, that should be the thing that motivates you. So, I hope I made you think today, and thank you for watching. And again, I hope this wasn't too rambly, and I hope I made at least a little bit of coherent sense. I did write a script for this video originally, but I couldn't read it. It was so, like, it's not that my writing's terrible. I am a pretty bad writer. It's just that I felt like I couldn't really... It felt like it wasn't the full picture of what I wanted. So I hope that this one, was at least a little bit more coherent. I hope you can understand what I was talking about, and the next episode's probably going to be even more interesting than this one. So I hope you enjoy, again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.